Thank you so much for joining me. So let me say, मेरा कुछ हाल ना पारू की तरह हो गया है जो मारा को चेस कर रही है. I've been chasing Madhavan for like the past 9 months. Finally, it took a Maara for me to speak to him. ये कहना चाहिए.
Lockdown. Yeah, I actually had my heads down completely because I was finishing 2 films. And Maara was one of them. The other one was Rocketry. So, and also the lockdown and also the fact that, you know, we were looking for a place for my son to swim. So, मेरा बहुत travel चल रहा था. And I couldn't speak about it, you know. मैं क्या बात करता है पूजा? The thing is, जो मुझे बात करनी थी, अभी मैं ready हूँ बात करने के लिए.
And I saw the first look. It is lovely. It's like poetry, basically like poetry. So, tell me what, it's like a fairy tale. So, मैं सबसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, do you actually believe in fairy tales and in love, like the way it's showcased in this beautiful picture that I saw? It's lyrical, the trailer.
Thank you. Dhilip?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Pooja, who are you asking this question to?
All of you.
All of us.
Achha, so we'll start.
Let Maddie start. Maddie, you start.
So Pooja, yeah, I think, sometimes I'm very surprised at the amount of sheer coincidences that I've had in my life, I'm born in a place like Bihar, small town. And from there to where I'm sitting here today, with all the things that has happened to me, it's nothing less than a fairy tale. मतलब कौन सोचेगा कि मणिरत्नम जैसे कोई महारथी जो हैं वो मुझे अपने फिल्म में लॉन्च करेंगे और उस लॉन्च में मेरे साथ म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर होगा A.R. रहमान और P.C. श्रीराम और शालिनी और तोटाधरनी एंड ऐसे बड़े महारथी. मतलब ऐसा लॉन्च तो बड़े बड़े स्टार के या बड़े बड़े प्रोड्यूसर के बेटे को नहीं मिलता है. सो और उससे ठीक कुछ 2000 में लॉन्च हुआ था तो 16 साल पहले मैंने पहली फिल्म अपनी लाइफ में देखी थी विच वाज नायकन. और मैं देख के मतलब मेरी तो हालत खराब हो गई. मैंने कहा अच्छा ये सिनेमा होता है. अच्छा मतलब पिक्चर देख के लोग रोती भी हैं और हमको रुला भी दिया. तो जिस इंसान के साथ मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन हुआ था सिनेमा में, फ्रॉम देयर टू एक्चुअली मीटिंग हिम एंड बीइंग कास्ट ऑन हिज फिल्म एंड देन all the dreams that I had, like, meeting a Kamal Hassan sir or Amit ji will know me by name and he'll call me Maddie. This is a fairy tale, yaar. A small town guy just imagining, just putting up a poster of Amit ji in his room and suddenly, sitting with him. This is no less than a fairy tale. So for me, I am a complete believer, absolute believer of fairy tales and the kind of people that you meet and the places that you meet them. The way I met my wife, the way I met Dhilip, the way Dhilip turned out to do this movie or Shruti. I think if it is not a fairy tale, if it's not predestined, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता. And that's why I'm a major believer.
And listening to you, I think I should also stop being the cynic that I am and start believing in fairy tales. So, Shraddha, what about you? Are you anything like your character? And also, do you believe in fairy tales?
I don't believe in fairy tales as such. I feel that life is quite... it's not as beautiful as they make it look like in movies, in the sense that like everything is so perfect. But I do believe that like beauty lies in very simple moments of a life and in some very very basic sort of things of life. I do believe in destiny a lot. I believe that everyone walks their path and it's all sort of predestined. Am I like Paru? Yes. I saw a lot of Paru in me. I thought the only thing I feel like I'm not like is that she's very impulsive. She doesn't really care for the consequences so much, and she just goes with it. But she is a dreamer, and she loves all things old and all things vintage. She has a very vintage kind of heart, and I think I am like that too. So yes, it's a bit of yes and no.
And to the director and the producer, I would like to ask, it's I would say an adaptation of Charlie, the Malayalam film. So what made you decide on this topic? Were there any changes? And also, instead of a theatrical release, do you think digital release is the best thing? I know in these times it is, reaches out to a wider audience. So what's your take on that?
See, when obviously we have the official remake rights of Charlie, but it was bought with the intention of not making a remake. Maddie was the first person I had collaborated with for the movie. And initially, the first thing that we spoke about was that we are not going to remake it. Am I right, Maddie? It's just, we just spoke of what all we like in the film and what all we don't want in the film. That's how we even started off speaking about the film. So mainly only speaking of what we wanted to retain and how are we going to change. So that itself, yes, is an adaptation. And that's how we started talking about it. So not at all with the intention of doing a frame-to-frame remake of the film. But keeping the essence and soul alive of the film, how different can we make it was the goal. Yeah.
Maara, taking it on as your debut project, and with Mr. Popular Maara, he's actually Maara in real life also, because have you seen this fandom? They also follow him wherever he goes.
Totally. Yeah. So when I came into the project, Maddie was already in there, and promotes films, and Maddie, they had decided that they're going to make they want to make an adaptation. So, and that's quite a dream, right? Like when you're stepping in as a director for the first time, and then you're afraid of remakes generally. Like, we are a cynical generation, and we look at remakes in a way. And when there is a speak of adaptation, they meant adaptation in the very real sense. Like the first meeting with both of them, where I was super happy that they wanted to and also not just to change for the sake of it, but they're able to break it down to bare bones of what exactly resonated with Maddie and with Shruti and Pratik with the production house. Also, it was the same. And then I watched Charlie, and I saw like what resonated with me. And there is one common point, like where all our whatever we all liked met at one point. We retained that, and then it became original on its own.
True. And Maddie, I want to ask you, as I said, you're something like Maara, because ek hai artist, and then comes a gathering of people following him, and like I'm sure it's something like you in real life also. I mean, your fandom. I mean, he's actually the most popular person I have come across, you know. Could you resonate with Maara at any level?
Yeah, absolutely, Pooja. I'll tell you why I mean it, okay? See, in today's world now, you meet somebody, and then, in person, you exchange numbers, and you think you have an attraction or something in common with that person, okay? And then you start having a conversation on WhatsApp. And you find the person a little more interesting even on WhatsApp, okay? So then you start going and profiling them on Instagram and Facebook, and digitally seeing what they do, what kind of interviews have they given, are they celebrities, are they non-celebrities, what kind of clothes do they like, what is the subject of interest, are they environmental, all sorts of stuff. And then you form a digital profile in your mind about them, okay? And then from mundane conversations on WhatsApp, na, कि कैसे हो, खाना खाया कि नहीं खाया, अच्छा लगा आपकी आर्टिकल, ये अच्छा लगा, फिर वहां से दोस्ती बढ़ती है, you realize कि you have more in common, and then it comes to, I like this movie, I hate this person, I wonderful this, and then are you in love, do you have a husband, do you have a wife, are you married, whatever, the whole conversation happens. And suddenly you realize कि you know the person very well on WhatsApp. And then you get to meet the person in real life, physically, for the second time in your life. And then when you meet them on the second time, you don't know where to take the relationship from. Should you start the relationship from the in-depth understanding you've had in WhatsApp? Or should you take it from the point that you actually really met them only second time in life, right? And what happens is sometimes those relationships are not able to bear the burden of the fact that you have a split personality idea of the person.
True.
आपको लगता है कि ये इतना decent है, इतना sweet है, पता चला waiter के साथ बदतमीजी कर दी उसने. And you suddenly like, अरे ये इंसान तो वो नहीं है जो मैंने सोचा था. And then, so that happens. And then there is a whole pressure on everybody to be and look at what they think is their digital profile. So what happens is the real intrapersonal interaction becomes very little. And then relationships start, weaning away. So in Maara, one of the things that I liked about the story and the character was what happens is Maara doesn't carry a phone here. Uske paas na smartphone nahi. And don't get introduced to each other through anything except their deeds. Except ये Maara है कौन यार? यहाँ पे सब Maara क्यों घूम रहा है? Literally in the English sense. but she realizes that who's loved or hated or annoying or funny. At the same time, Maara, complete in his life, suddenly finds that some woman somewhere, by doing what she does, is actually finishing his circle. And so what happens when these two people who desperately thinks and the audience thinks should be together meet for the very first time? Do they meet like they should have been together for a long time, or do they meet like strangers? And what happens to them? And for me, I think there's an excitement as Madhavan and Maara. My excitement is that who am I going to meet today? I want to meet somebody every day that I want to keep in touch with for the rest of my life. That's the best outcome for a day. So in that sense, I'm completely like Maara.
Awesome. And before I go to Shraddha, I want to ask you one question. आपके फैन ने पूछा, वैसे आपके साथ मारा जैसा मोमेंट हुआ है? I'm sure कोई पारू जैसी लड़की आपको फॉलो करती हो, ऐसा हुआ है? बहुत हुए होंगे.
पता नहीं यार, मुझे लगता है मैं बहुत भैया टाइप का
No.
Absolutely not. You'll be so modest.
I don't know how to handle compliments too much. I become very embarrassing and I say stupid things. So forgive me. But I don't think ऐसा है कि किसी ने मेरा पीछा किया हो और बहुत दिनों के बाद मुझसे मिला हो. अगर होता भी तो मैं बड़ा लल्लू, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता. मैं बहुत embarrass हो जाता हूँ यार. So I'm telling you ना, कोई fan आके मिलता है तो मैं सबसे पहले embarrass हो जाता हूँ.
ए भगवान, देखो, and for a man who
मतलब मैं जल्दी से topic change. I try to change the topic.
And this is a man who embodies romance for a whole lot of women, huh? Great. So Shraddha, tell me, this is your second collaboration with him. Am I right?
Yes.
So what was it like, and what were your reasons to say yes to Maara?
I never said a yes to Maara. I was selected to be part of Maara. I had to audition, and there was like a proper test. Yeah, I had to fly down to Chennai, and perform and everything. And then they said, yes, I think you're through. So it was not a decision for me to make. It was a decision for the director and the producers and everyone to make. But from the word go, the brief that Dhilip gave me, I was very drawn to the film. How was it working with Maddie? The first time around, and I have said this a lot, the first time that I met Maddie on the sets of Vikram Ved, I was gushing and I was a young blundering fool because I was so just like, I could not believe my luck. Maddie was my first big, massive co-star that I was working with, and I was all over the place in my head. And I don't even know how I was performing because I was in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm acting with Maddie. This time around, I was like, yeah, chill, this is Maddie. Like, fist bump. Maddie is a bro, is a buddy. But yeah.
खुद ही कह दिया उसने, मैं भैया type हूँ.
No. I don't know, like bro, like a friend, but like really chill, and it was really fun. And we didn't have so many scenes together this time. But just knowing that Maddie is on sets around, I will finish these scenes and Maddie will be stepping on the sets. It was great. It's great to see a familiar person like Maddie on sets, to work with him the second time around.
And now this is to all of you. I'm sure all actors, producers, directors love that theatrical experience. So, I mean, do you feel shortchanged, or are you happy because, theatrical, again, gets restricted and gets segmentized, but this is available to everyone. Everyone across the world is going to watch it.
Sorry, Pooja. And I also think this is the right time to release it here. Pooja, this has been a pattern in everybody's house. I don't even have to come to your house to tell you that when the pandemic started, for the first 1 month, everybody thought, yaar, chutti mili hai ek mahine ke liye, and, we were cooking and sweeping and cleaning and putting up photographs of how we loved our domestic helps and stuff like that. And then also all of us decided to take our smartphones and iPads on our own. And then suddenly when things became real, you realize 2 months, 3 months, then you stopped watching very morbid stuff, your khoon kharaba, maar, rape, वगैरह ना. As a family or as a person also, you started moving away from it. You want to go back and let's see Friends, or let's see something which is more pleasant. Let's see a 1970s movie, Rishikesh Dara movie, and that whole family kind of converged like that. है ना. और जो सीट पे बैठ के आप लोग देखते थे, पता चला वो सीट ही धस गया. उस लेवल तक का मतलब हमने OTT को कंज्यूम कर लिया था, which is a good thing. But जैसे कि ये 8 महीना 10 महीना होने लगा, I think it's a time where people are now saying, यार अब थोड़ा मन हल्का कर दिया. Let's see something that is nice and beautiful and pleasant, and I don't want to see any more मार दिया, ये कर दिया, you know, personally मेरे साथ वो हुआ कि I said यार थोड़ा I want to see something that is nice, and it's come to a peak right now, and I think everybody is very happy to see something which is happy. Just show me something that is nice and pleasant. And so in this, one of the reasons why we selected Maara was that this is a utopian world. It's when sabhi log achhe hain. Everybody's nice, everybody's good. I mean, in today's world of grey, we suddenly found a black and white world here. You don't have to guess much what sort of a person they are. And if the world existed like this, where it was only black and white, no discussing about who they are, whether you like them or not like them, it's clear, then what sort of problems will they have? Will problems go away? No, they won't, but they will be there, and there'll be another unique solution to it. So we wanted to create this almost make-believe world, almost make-believe characters, and that is what excited me about Maara in the very first place. And I have to say, with Shraddha, I mean, we're not here to praise each other, but with Shraddha and all that, you know, it's astonishing because, you know, she shot for it before I did. So, and she set the pacing absolutely correctly. And, you know, when you go on the set and you have the artist coming on time, being a lady much before you, she's got the entire lines right. You don't have to mess around with her. You have to, in fact, there's a great possibility that you're going above the written scene as opposed to just getting the scene, you know, as it has been written short. So with a lot of difficulty, but with Shraddha, that kind of commitment, you know, and even though she's new to Tamil, she had it all pat on. All that, you know, feels like everybody should be, we can't let our end of the bargain down. So that, you know, that's kind of pleasure that and you know, camaraderie I share with Shraddha, which is brilliant.
And I must say, he's truly a marketing genius, you know. Maddie, for you, you sell your product so well. But I know this is going to be worth watching. So how are you all on a Friday before a release? Is it anything different now? This is to Shraddha, to Maddie, and Dhilip being your first. So any plans, would have they been different had it been theater and now it's OTT, or is it the same?
No, it's the same. In fact, like even more excited because your audience get bigger. Like the spectrum is wide open now, and in fact, like we have Maddie came up with this great idea of like there is one song that became very popular down here in South, and we have made that in Hindi. And we have retained the lyrics in the spirit of the whole film, so that like there is a Hindi song which with which like we can speak to the wider audience of what they are up for, and the excitement is at that level. Like for us to like after finishing the film, we have created a song, so we are excited on those grounds. And also, if you look at it, like there is a paradigm shift that's happening, and it doesn't happen. Like every now and then, like right now, the TV and web are on par with the theatrical release. So there is one is not inferior to the other. So and when you look back, like after a couple of years, when you look back, like we would be one of the first bunch of feature films that were made for theater that would have released released at home at your disposal.
True. Shraddha, what are you like? Yeah, sorry, Maddie.
No, Shraddha, please.
What are you like on a Friday?
It never sort of gives me sleepless nights. The whole, you know, how will my movie fare on Friday, or like how many seats are unbooked? What has the opening been like? I feel like I've never been part of films, or rather, I think it's a more hero thing. I don't know. Maddie, you might be able to answer this better. Just like the numbers are like a huge sort of also marketing thing, right? But for me, it's never been. I'm like, okay, theek hai, ho gaya. People are talking about it, pasand aa raha hai logon ko, theek hai. But for me, it doesn't change anything at all. Here it's great. Your Friday begins from 12 midnight. And people are in the pajamas watching a movie, taking, you know, selfies and posting it. So I think it's just so inclusive, and everyone's happily watching. I personally, I feel nothing has changed for me.
Maddie, what about you? Box office का वैसे वो झंझट भी चला गया OTT के साथ.
हाँ, वो हो सकता है. The excitement. Okay, so if truth be told, the excitement is gone. Where you wait for the first day, first show and results, and how many people came and what are the reviews. Earlier on, the reviews used to take a week to come. Now the reviews come while the film is happening. After the first reel, second reel, that's how they give reviews. in the theaters, right? Now, I mean, so that excitement and that, saying, oh, people are whistling and people are dancing, that excitement is unfortunately there. The community viewing, watching viewership and fun is gone. But at the same time, a lot more people are getting access to the film around the world simultaneously. So you have, people reviewing your film from around the world at the same time, putting it up on YouTube. Everybody gets an opportunity to see it if you like the actor and the cast of the film. So for me, the nervousness is the same. The excitement of a success in the theater where the audiences are screaming, that is the only thing that is missing. But once you see the reviews come in and when you see people actually chatting and you see their face more than what they're saying, it's so rewarding. Or it could be like, for me, like Shraddha says, maybe it's more of a hero thing. But I have a lot of things invested in a film. It's not just money or how it will affect other projects. It's just that, we've got together and happily spent 6 months together. And I need that to be remembered correctly. I need that to be punctuated so that it becomes a pleasant experience in my life. As far as Charlie was concerned, it was already a big hit. So we're carrying an additional burden of trying to remake an already classical hit in Malayalam, right? And they have very and refined taste. So to get Kerala to appreciate this film is going to be another Herculean task for us. Although we have completely adapted it and made it age appropriate for this film. Sure. Having said that, the last one of the things I wanted to say, and I really mean it. So I'm not an easy person to work with, Pooja. People don't believe it, but I'm not an easy person to work with. And I think I'm very grateful to Dhilip and to Shruti, because when they came to me, the idea was brilliant. I wanted to do it. And we went through many hurdles and hoops and, almost did not do the project simply because I was not getting what I wanted out of the story. But Shruti kept on persisting and she kept on insisting. And in fact, when the director came on board now, Dhilip, it was his first film. And, I generally have to, I'm giving out a state, but I generally have to make sure the director has the grit to finish a film. Okay. It's never going to be a simple, straightforward process of going to the shoot. Everybody is happy. You finish the shoot. Hit ho gaya, release ho gaya, hit ho gaya. That's a flop film. It never happens. It never happens. In the 78 films I have done, you have to firefight every day. And you have to see whether the person has the ability to firefight. Do they lose their temper? Do they lose their hope? Do they give up? Or do they keep clawing at it? Do they persist? So much so that things went right for a while. And then we went to the first schedule, and Shraddha knows we were shooting in Pondicherry. And after 4 days, I was feeling things are going not the way we expected it, okay? Because there was some miscommunication and things were not falling in place. So I told Shruti, I said, it's not working, Shruti. I think we should cancel the schedule. And it's a very difficult thing for a young producer and a young director to take. When you're saying your first film you're doing and you want to cancel the first schedule because it's not working out. But I thought that was in the best interest of the film. I also hoped that they would persist because that kind of a decision is a backbreaker, right? But to their credit, they just completely moved ahead with conviction, especially came all the way to Bombay 3-4 times to say, Maddie, what is the problem? What are we having an issue with? And I used to keep telling him, and every time I told him he'll come up with a beautiful solution to it. Oh. And now I'm so proud. I mean, we went and shot in winters in Ooty. I was totally skeptical about it. Like, how are you going to shoot? We've got old people on the set and you're going to shoot in Ooty in December. But somehow they kept the gravy train on, and today we are releasing it. And I think after all that hard work, after all the the challenges that they have faced, for us to feel to get the results of it, I don't want to wait till the theaters open. I don't want to wait till God knows when the theaters are going to be open. So I want everybody to understand and enjoy the fruit of that labor. And that's one of the reasons I'm so glad, because with Amazon Prime, 300 countries at least at the same time. And they publicize. This is my third project with them, and they publicize it brilliantly. They put in heartfelt effort. We spend more time with them on video calls before we start the publicity than anybody else in our lives. So it's almost like a script session. So on that front, I'm really happy कि ऐसा release हो रहा है.
Wow, thank you so much, everybody. और जाते माधवन आपसे ये पूछना भी, can't let you go. All of this lockdown that we've just been through, everybody wanted to know the sequel of रहना है तेरे दिल में. There was talk कि आपने हाँ भी कह दिया था, बता दो यार.
Yeah. It's a big burden. Okay. It's better to say कि रहना इतने में कमाल की फिल्म थी और यार ये कभी बना नहीं पाए सीक्वेंस as opposed to पहली फिल्म का याद हमने खराब कर दिया ऑलरेडी by दूसरा बना के. So the thing that is a danger that we run. I mean, not every film can be a Tanu Vs Manu. Tanu Vs Manu was a blockbuster as far as part 2 was concerned, right? But इसमें क्या है ना कि not only has almost 20 years passed, we've also have to find the writers who can write relevant story for us for now. And I am so eager to do it. But Pooja, what the problem with Rehnaa Hai Dil Mein is, the masti was great, the film was great, the casting was great, the comedy was good, the drama was good, and on top of that, the music was a blockbuster. यार इसमें से एक सही मिल जाए ना आज के जमाने में तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, वरना इतना हम लोग मुंह की खाएंगे. So it's actually a tall order. So I rather have the regret of not having a sequel than to have spoiled the taste of the original in the first place.
True. जाते जाते बता दो आप चारों में से मारा कौन है? Who's actually Maara, the wanderer? Who's actually the wanderer amongst the four of you?
I think it's Dhilip.
It's a Dhilip.
Even I think it's Dhilip. Yeah.
So Dhilip and Maara
I think it's Maddie. Yeah. Like I know him better. I know his secrets.
So between Shruti and me, I think it is definitely got to be Dhilip and Shraddha.
Yeah.
I think Shraddha is definitely a roaming soul. She's she cannot settle down in one place. I pity your family, Shraddha, but you're not one of those. You're a
Shraddha, you have my heart. Thank you so much, everybody, and hope 2021 brings us the joy that the joy of seeing Maara's trailer has brought to me. It brings that happiness to everyone around because we need happy people around us. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Hey, and Pooja, wish you happy 2021 too, Pooja, and I hope you stay as effervescent and as energetic as.
Getting inspiration from the best, as I say.
During Tanu days with you.
I remember you from Tol Mol ke day.
Right.
Tol Mol ke bol, yeah. Come on. Okay,
I know, man. Can you believe it's it's already 22 years, huh? 23 years.
Exactly. I've known you since then. So.
Oh my God, that's really long.
Wow.
Anyways, all.
That's giving away your
really
age,
long.
Maddie.
You're born. Okay, thank you so much for your lovely talking.
His age and my age as
I'm
well.
50.
Thank you so much.
Right now, I'm selfish and concerned about my hero's age.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Happy New Year.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.